Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Koi Boys Channel Mix. And we're at the top of the world here because we cover all the top notch and crazy interesting TikToks. So let's get right into it. Not quite sure what that was all about. I think they may have been a little dramatic about what was going on. I mean, interesting. That's all I can say.
What is true, and I'm actually being serious here, is that there's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are. We can't explain how they moved, their trajectory. They did not have an easily explainable pattern. And so, I think that people still take seriously trying to investigate and figure out what that is.
Imagine a technology that can do 600 to 700 G-forces, that can fly at 13,000 miles an hour, that it can evade radar, and that can fly through air and water and possibly space. And, oh, by the way, has no obvious signs of propulsion, no wings, no control surfaces, and yet still can defy the natural effects of Earth's gravity. That's precisely what we're seeing.
So what you're telling me is that UFOs, unidentified flying objects, are real.
Bill, I think we're beyond that already. The government has already stated for the record that they're real. I'm not telling you that. The United States government is telling you that. The mission of ATIP was quite simple. It was to collect and analyze information involving anomalous aerial vehicles. What I guess in the vernacular you call them UFOs. We call them UAPs.
You know how this sounds. It sounds nutty, wacky.
Look, Bill, I'm not telling you that it doesn't sound wacky. What I'm telling you is real. The question is, what is it? What are its intentions? What are its capabilities?
What you've seen is what those Navy pilots saw in 2004, and there have been some 300 sightings since then. And I've talked to those pilots, and they know they saw something, and their radar's locked onto it. And then all of a sudden it was here on the surface, and then it's there. And they don't know what it is, and we don't know what it is. We hope it's not an adversary here on Earth that has that kind of technology. But it's something. And so this is a mission that we're constantly looking. Who is out there? Who are we? How did we get here? How did we become as we are? How did we develop? How did we civilize? And are those same conditions out there in a universe that has billions of other suns in billions of other galaxies? It's so large, I can't conceive it.
What is true?
Yeah, this right here is like old news to me, but there's some people out there who just refuse that aliens aren't real and UFOs aren't real or whatever. But I mean, right here, it's living proof. I mean, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink,
Nothing in this world is what you think it is. Nothing operates the way you think it does.
What do you mean?
Nothing operates the way you think it does.
What do you mean?
Government does not work the way you think it does.
It's not about people voting for a president.
No, it has nothing to do with that. We're talking money. We're talking control, corporations, big business, period.
It's all big business and money.
Period.
Yeah.
End of sentence. Now, religion is a corporation. It's all the religions of the Western world, especially in the Western world, all religions operate under maritime admiralty law. So there are certain...
What do you mean maritime admiralty law?
Maritime admiralty is the law of water, and I talk a lot about this in the past. I'm going to talk a lot about it in the future.
Okay.
There are only two things on the earth, on this earth, land and water.
Right.
So there are two kinds of law, the law of the land and the law of water. The law of the land is the custom of the people who live on a particular piece of land. So the law of the land is different in every country.
Right.
I mean, you can do things in Russia you can't do in America.
Right.
You can do things in South Africa you can't do in China because it's the law of the land. That particular piece of land has their own custom. So the custom of the people living on a particular piece of land is called the law of the land.
Okay, got it.
But there is also a larger, far more important law on the earth. It's called the law of the sea, the law of the water. And when you get into, and then that law is referred to in courts as maritime admiralty. Maritime admiralty is the law of water. Once you understand the law of water, it opens up a world of occult hidden symbols and hidden foundations on how we live.
What are some of those laws that we're not aware of?
Oh my goodness! When you walk into a courtroom, why do you go to court? You play basketball on a court. You play tennis on a court.
Right.
Yeah. How do you play tennis on a court? You play with a racket. Come on. And so the judge walks out. He rules from the bench. Right. Look it up in a Latin dictionary. The word bench is a bank in Latin.
Oh.
And so the judge is ruling for the bank. That's why he wears a black robe, because the black robe represents the planet Saturn, the god of banking and law.
Oh.
The black robe represents the planet Saturn, who in the ancient world was called Lord of the Rings.
Wow.
Well, he is Lord of the Rings.
Right, there's rings.
And so women were told in the ancient world to listen to their god, so they would wear an ear ring. Men were to get married before their god, so they wear a wedding ring. Because Saturn was Lord of the Rings.
Wow.
And he is also the inhibitor. He was the one who holds you back. He represents government, banking, the police department, all kinds of institutions that are powerful that can hold you back. He was the inhibitor, the judge, the court, the government. Nothing.
And you have one of the most disturbing and craziest stories I think I ever read.
Yeah, I believe that was Jordan Maxwell. But I've seen him a few times, and I've actually heard some of that stuff he was talking about as far as Saturn with the black and him teaching the law with the hearing and the earrings and stuff. But he's a deep soul. He gets a little deep with it. But yeah, learning that with St. Joseph Bonacci and the Holy Science. Interesting stuff.
But the people that first get it should have a massive advantage over people that don't have it yet.
Well, I mean, it's the kind of thing where your productivity would improve, I don't know, dramatically, maybe by a factor of 10 with it. So you could definitely just, I don't know, take out a loan and do it and earn the money back real fast.
Yeah.
Be super smart.
When do you think you're going to do it? How long will you wait? Like once it starts becoming available?
Yeah, I mean, if it works, I'll do it, sure.
Right away?
I mean, let's make sure it works.
How do we make sure it works? We try it on prisoners?
No, like I said, if somebody's got a serious brain injury,
right,
and then you can fix those brain injuries, then you prove out that it works, and you make more and more brain injuries, solve more and more.
But the people that first get it, if you can go back in a time machine.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm not getting no Neuralink. I'm not letting them drill in my skull. You know what I mean? They just need to leave that alone. Just calm down. You could hear Elon himself. He didn't seem too excited about it. Cuckoo, cuckoo.
Cellular outages being reported nationwide. The tracking website downdetector.com is reporting more than 32,000 outages for AT&T customers. We're also hearing reports of customers with AT&T are struggling to call 911, and that is a problem.
That's not good. All right, more than 800 outages also reported for Verizon and T-Mobile users. It's unclear what caused this outage. There has been no word yet from any of these major cellular networks. Did you have a problem this morning, Pete?
I didn't notice it.
By the way, welcome.
Great to be here. I did not notice it, but a lot of people have.
Yeah.
And it's coast to coast. It's not the kind of thing where it's just happening here in New York. Apparently, reports are it's all the way to L.A., maybe international, too.
I see L.A., Dallas, Atlanta, San Diego, San Antonio, Chicago, San Francisco, and Honolulu. So what about Surfside Beach in South Carolina? Lawrence, poll the audience. Ask for the hands if anybody's having a cell phone problem.
Yeah, let's ask the folks here. Okay, who's having cell phone issues here today? Who has AT&T? Raise your hand. AT&T, cell phone issue. What about Verizon? Who's having some Verizon issues today?
Okay.
Yep. So pretty much everyone, guys, is having the same issues.
Lawrence,
thank God for the Wi-Fi network, because that's what we're using.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it's the data. Lexi, our assistant, she came in this morning and she said, my data's not working, but when I get to Fox and I turn it on Wi-Fi, my phone works now.
That's exactly right. I think they can make emergency phone calls, but they're not able to make just general phone calls to family.
What in the hell is going on with AT&T? Good thing I don't have AT&T anymore. I used to have it, but I switched over to Straight Talk. But that's today's date. Today's my brother's birthday. Happy birthday, Colton.
How are you looking at it? You know what I'm saying? Because you are a guy who probably understands it as good as anybody that's alive. So as weird as this stuff sounds, to me it sounds like it's almost impossible for me to comprehend. So I'm trying to filter it through your understanding of it.
Well, I think that...
Let's take his jacket off. We're getting serious.
I know. It's getting hot in here. Like, physics is heating us up. I'm not exactly sure how to say it the best. It doesn't change who you are. It's certainly not true that you making a decision is what branches the wave function of the universe. I guess that's the right thing to say.
Good, because I want to stop all woo.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Before it happens.
Everyone, believe me,
brakes.
The joke about how certain political choices imply that we're living in the wrong branch of the wave function has been made many, many times, right? But
okay.
It's not that your choices create different universes. Different universes get created, and maybe you're different in them by a little bit. In fact, I like to point out there is an app you can download if you have an iPhone called Universe Splitter, which will branch the wave function of the universe for you. And then if you agree ahead of time to do one thing in one branch and another thing in another branch, then there will be multiple copies of you who are living different lives. And then you can deal with that and your therapist however you like. But
what is the application exactly doing?
What it's doing is basically a version of measuring the spin of...
It's called Universe Splitter?
Universe Splitter. It's only for iPhones.
Oh, I'm going to grab this right now.
But,
sorry, Android people.
Yeah, sorry. It's not even a web page. It's only an app. There's equivalent web pages. But.
Okay, I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah, and what you can do, basically it sends a signal to a lab that coincidentally is located in Geneva, Switzerland, but has nothing to do with the Higgs boson or anything like that. They send a single photon down a pipe to what's called a beam splitter. So the wave function of the photon goes 50-50. It gets sent left, it gets sent right. And if you agree, and so then it sends back whether you ended up in the branch of the wave function where it went left or where it went.
How are you?
Yeah, I like Joe Rogan. The other guy kind of just seemed like he was maybe just throwing some big words around. And I guess I'm not an iPhone guy, so I'm not cool enough to experience this app. So maybe you get one of you guys do, and you can then leave a comment below, tell us all about it.
The story is this kid in college was walking, and he was just like a normal kid, and this like jock guy started to and then he pushed him like super hard, and he like hit his head.
Oh no.
And then like woke up. He's like, oh my gosh, that hurt so bad. And then just went on to class and stuff. Goes into class. And he sees this really beautiful girl, basically was pursuing her, and she like had a bunch of bad relationships or whatever. Finally, a couple months later, they ended up dating. Long story short, they got married, super in love, they had kids, he had a job, all this is great, right? He said that like every night he would go into his kids' rooms and like read him a story, all this stuff, And then one night, after leaving the kids' room, he was looking at this lamp in his living room, and he's like, there's something wrong with that lamp. And he kept on staring. Every day he would come and stare at it. And then it got so consuming to him that he was missing work. He was neglecting the kids, his wife. He would just sit in the living room and just stare at this lamp. His whole marriage fell apart because he was obsessed with this lamp. And his wife left him with the kids.
Oh no.
And then he finally one day went over to this lamp, And he's like, this lamp's not real. And all of a sudden the lamp started to glow. And then all of a sudden he like got super cold and it like turned into like a portal, sucked him through, and he woke up
on the concrete
in front of the college.
No.
He lived 10 years
No.
in this reality, this false reality, because
my
he got
gosh.
knocked unconscious. He just like suffered with depression.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah, I
because
miss
his
my
wife and
family,
kids don't exist.
Oh my gosh.
And so, but he said every night he would have a dream of his 5-year-old son and like would have conversations with them, but those people didn't exist.
Man, that is freaking nuts. I didn't expect that. Oh, just to think about. Oh man, just gives me an icky feeling. Phew. But that being said, that's all we got, guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and we'll see you next time. Later.